Have you ever wondered why that firmness and potency that once felt so natural suddenly seem to vanish, even though your desire remains undiminished? Did you know that the secret to reactivating the blood flow essential for sexual vitality lies not in expensive medications, but in correcting a silent, deep-seated imbalance in your body? Acidity. It's an uncomfortable truth, but more than 70% of men over 60 begin to notice that their bodies naturally become more acidic. Their pH drops, and this acidity constricts their blood vessels and, crucially, inhibits the production of nitric oxide, that miracle molecule you need for strong erections. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo, and throughout my career, I've worked with hundreds of men who feel frustrated, ashamed, or simply resigned to accepting this loss of vitality as an inevitable consequence of aging. Today, without mincing words and with the utmost confidentiality, we're going to talk about how the solution to this physical challenge may be hidden in something as simple, inexpensive, and readily available as baking soda. I guarantee that if you follow the protocol I'll show you today, based on rigorous studies, you have a real chance of regaining not only firmness but also confidence and enjoyment in your intimate life. You have the right to fulfillment at any age, and science is on our side. To understand the solution, we must first delve into the root of the problem. I want you to stop blaming yourself for the loss of firmness. It's not a lack of desire, nor is it necessarily just a matter of age. It's body chemistry. pH, the measure of acidity or alkalinity, is the invisible driver of your vascular health. If you've noticed your vitality dropping from a perfect 10 to a 6 or 7, it's very likely that your blood pH has fallen from its ideal point, 7.4, to more acidic levels, perhaps 6.8 or even 6.6. It's a gradual slide, brought on by a lifetime of diets high in processed foods, sugars, and, crucially, chronic stress, which depletes the body's alkaline reserves. This seemingly small change has a devastating twofold effect on erectile function. First, the acidity acts as a silent corrosive, hardening the inner walls of your arteries. Think of a river becoming muddier and narrower. The blood simply doesn't flow with the speed and pressure needed to fully fill the corpora cavernosa. Secondly, and this is the crucial point, acidity inactivates the most important mechanism for erection, nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide isn't just any chemical. It's the miracle molecule that signals smooth muscles to relax, allowing for massive vasodilation. It's the message that opens the floodgates for blood flow. But the enzymes that produce this nitric oxide are extremely sensitive to pH. When the internal environment becomes acidic, these enzymes become sluggish or, worse, stop working altogether. It's a double threat. You have constricted blood vessels, and at the same time, the nitric oxide factory has shut down. Without a balanced pH, no amount of stimulation can generate the full vascular response you need for optimal hardness. The good news is that if acidity is the problem, targeted alkalization is the solution, and that solution is incredibly simple, natural, and affordable: baking soda. This isn't a medication, but a master pH regulator. When you consume it, baking soda acts as a powerful alkalizing agent, neutralizing excess acid in your bloodstream. Think of it as an internal antacid, but specifically targeted at your entire circulatory system. By restoring a slightly alkaline internal environment, the arterial stiffness caused by acidity begins to loosen. Your blood vessels, previously tense and constricted, can relax and expand easily, opening the floodgates for the blood flow you so desperately need. But the most crucial effect of this simple act is the immediate reactivation of nitric oxide production. Remember, the enzymes that create this vital molecule are extremely sensitive to pH. By restoring them to their ideal balance, they function at full efficiency once again. Suddenly, your body not only has more flexible arteries, but also the innate and enhanced ability to generate the massive vasodilation signal required for optimal stiffness. It's your body's natural biology, corrected and amplified, allowing you to reach a level of power you may have thought was a thing of the past. We've seen that the results aren't subtle, but transformative, and they manifest quickly. Let me share the case of Ricardo, a 58-year-old man. Ricardo, a 58-year-old architect from Madrid, had tried every expensive supplement and pill on the market without lasting results. He was deeply frustrated. When I suggested starting with something as simple as baking soda, he was understandably skeptical, but I reminded him that we weren't treating a symptom, but rather correcting his internal chemistry. After just 1 week of incorporating the small daily recommended dose, dissolved in water, he called me. It wasn't just a general energy boost or improved digestion. What amazed him most was that his morning erections, which had been absent from his life for almost a decade, returned with a firmness he hadn't remembered. "Doctor," he told me, "it's like my pipes have been flushed, but without the harshness of medication. It's natural." Her testimony reflects exactly what biochemistry confirms. If your body's environment is optimal, biology responds with full power. And this biological response isn't just anecdotal. We're talking about a fundamental strategy that has been rigorously validated in laboratories and clinical trials internationally. I want you to understand the magnitude of this impact with irrefutable evidence. Since improving arterial pH is possibly the most underestimated factor for erectile function, let's take as a reference a crucial study conducted by researchers in Italy. They worked with a group of 150 men over 60 years old who had mild to moderate circulatory dysfunction. The protocol was remarkably simple. They were given a daily dose of sodium bicarbonate, the equivalent of half a teaspoon a day, for a period of 3 months. The results dramatically confirmed the power of pH control on blood flow and nitric oxide signaling. The men who participated in this simple protocol experienced, on average, a 55% increase in blood flow to the penile region. In addition, 70% of them reported the recovery of their morning erections, which are the clearest indicator of robust vascular health. And as a direct consequence of the improvement in firmness and confidence, the frequency of sexual activity doubled. It's compelling evidence. What this study perfectly illustrates is the fundamental interconnection between internal chemistry and vascular health. By introducing this simple alkaline buffer, bicarbonate, we are effectively neutralizing the metabolic acidity generated by modern stress, a high-processed diet, and accumulated muscle fatigue. This neutralization isn't just cosmetic, it's vital. Consider the endothelium, that thin layer lining your blood vessels that is the factory of nitric oxide. No, the gaseous neurotransmitter essential for vasodilation. When the surrounding cellular environment is acidic, the endothelium is stressed, and its ability to synthesize and release NO is dramatically inhibited. It's like trying to light a match in a swamp. The chemical signal is drowned. Maintaining a slightly alkaline pH gives the endothelium the ideal environment to produce NO with maximum efficiency. The morning dose of our Gold Protocol prepares your system for the day, facilitating early detoxification, while the nighttime dose assists deep cellular regeneration during sleep, ensuring your biology consistently works in your favor. It's not a temporary, fleeting boost. It's a profound restructuring of the vascular environment, the foundation of your performance. Now that we understand the scientific reasoning behind it, let's return to the practical application of the Gold Protocol, reviewing the 2 key doses. Remember, the timing of intake is just as important as the quantity. The morning dose, which we call the Kickstart Boost, should ideally be taken 30 to 45 minutes before your first solid meal or coffee. This ensures the alkalizing system has an empty stomach to work on without interfering with the digestion of complex foods. It's a gentle, preparatory cleanse. The evening dose, the regenerative seal, is taken 60 to 90 minutes after dinner, just before bed. We want the body to be in a post-absorptive state, ready for the deep cellular repair that occurs during sleep. Now, the most critical part, the one you must commit to memory, and what we call the vital attention in the protocol, the total dosage. We must never exceed the total amount of half a teaspoon, approximately 2.5 grams, throughout the entire day. This is the fundamental line that separates therapeutic benefit from unnecessary risk. Why this strict restriction? There are 2 main reasons: digestive and renal. First, if we exceed this dose, we risk excessively reducing the stomach's natural acidity. Hydrochloric acid is essential not only for digesting proteins and absorbing key minerals like vitamin B12, but it also acts as a powerful defense barrier against pathogens. Too much bicarbonate deactivates this barrier, causing malabsorption problems and long-term digestive fragility. Second, and this is vital for your vascular system, we must monitor excess sodium. Sodium bicarbonate is, by definition, a concentrated source of sodium. Chronic and excessive use overloads your kidneys and can disrupt the delicate electrolyte balance in the body, which is detrimental to blood pressure and kidney health. Therefore, the half-teaspoon dose is the safe limit that maximizes vascular benefits without compromising these essential functions. Wisdom lies in moderation and precision. While oral dosage requires extreme caution to protect the digestive and renal systems, there is an alternative route that harnesses our body's wisdom: transdermal absorption through the skin. The skin is an extraordinarily permeable organ when in ideal conditions, and it is precisely here that we introduce the second pillar of the protocol: immersion baths. This method allows us to use a much larger dose of bicarbonate, a whole glass, in a safe and highly effective way, completely bypassing the gastrointestinal tract. For this ritual, you will need to fill your bathtub with water as hot as you can comfortably tolerate, as the heat is crucial for opening the pores and maximizing absorption. Once in the water, slowly dissolve the contents of 1 glass of baking soda, approximately 200 grams, in the water. The goal is simple yet profound: to fully submerge yourself, ideally up to your chest, and remain still for exactly 20 minutes. It is a time of meditation and silent healing. The recommendation is to practice this bath 3 times a week. What does this process achieve? The bicarbonate, dissolved in this warm matrix, penetrates the skin and is transported directly to your circulatory system, achieving gentle systemic alkalization. This improves the quality of blood reaching the erectile tissues, thus optimizing erection and prostate health without stressing your kidneys. Remember, the power of alkalization is not to cure, but to create a biological environment where disease cannot thrive. This bath is your moment to reset. Now that we understand how systemic alkalization specifically supports prostate health and erectile function, it's vital to broaden our perspective. This acid-base balance we're restoring isn't an isolated benefit, but rather a driving force that impacts your overall well-being, preventing common problems we often consider inevitable with age. Let me illustrate this with a couple of crucial examples, particularly regarding urogenital health. The bacteria that cause urinary tract infections, or cystitis, thrive in an acidic environment. By slightly raising the body's pH through these immersion baths and the oral intake of alkaline water, we create a hostile environment where these pathogens simply cannot easily settle and multiply. It is a passive yet powerful preventative strategy that minimizes the recurrence of these troublesome infections. Similarly, alkalinity is a key tool in preventing kidney stone formation. Many of the most common stones, such as uric acid stones, form precisely when urine is excessively acidic. By correcting this pH, we help the crystals remain dissolved, preventing their painful agglomeration. But the benefits don't end with urogenital health. Consider muscle relaxation. Have you noticed that nighttime cramps are a recurring problem? This is often linked to electrolyte imbalances and a buildup of lactic acid in the tissues. Bicarbonate actively helps neutralize that lactic acid, allowing your muscles to relax deeply, resulting in fewer cramps and a substantial improvement in sleep quality. And finally, cellular energy. When our cells operate at their optimal pH, our mitochondria, the cell's powerhouses, function at peak efficiency. This translates not only into less physical fatigue, but also greater mental clarity and overall vitality to face your day. However, it's crucial to understand that bicarbonate, by itself, is not a panacea or a miracle cure. It's a necessary support, a change agent that requires 4 fundamental pillars to function safely and effectively. And this is where most people fail, seeking the effect without providing the necessary infrastructure. The first pillar, proper hydration, is vital. When you ingest sodium bicarbonate, you're introducing salt into your system. If you don't drink the recommended 8 glasses of water daily, that salt can lead to cellular dehydration and even temporarily raise blood pressure in sensitive individuals. Water not only dissolves the bicarbonate for absorption, it also ensures that your kidneys can process and excrete the excess sodium without becoming overloaded. Second, we need the magic of potassium. Sodium, by its very nature, needs to be balanced by potassium to maintain electrolyte homeostasis. It's the perfect dance. If we use bicarbonate without increasing our potassium intake, which is abundant in bananas, spinach, avocados, and beans, we risk an imbalance that can lead to cramps, fatigue, or heart problems. Potassium acts as a counterbalance, allowing the body to use sodium bicarbonate as a pH regulator without disrupting its delicate circulatory system. Finally, we must be realistic about the other two pillars: reducing acidic foods and consuming green vegetables. Drinking alkaline water is useless if we're simultaneously flooding our system with refined sugar, white flour, or alcohol. Bicarbonate only extinguishes small, localized fires of acidity. If you keep adding fuel to the fire of inflammation and systemic acidity, you'll never win the battle. We need a sustainable strategy. That's where green vegetables come in. They not only provide the potassium we need, but also magnesium and calcium. These not only provide the potassium we need, but also magnesium and calcium. Now, for those looking to maximize the alkalizing effect while simultaneously improving digestive function, especially those suffering from low stomach acid, which ironically can cause reflux symptoms, there's a powerful alternative combination that might seem contradictory: baking soda with apple cider vinegar. I know it sounds illogical. How can something as acidic as vinegar help with alkalization? It's simple. Apple cider vinegar, ACV, is rich in acetic acid, but it metabolizes in an alkaline way. When you combine 1 or 4 teaspoons of baking soda with 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water, the reaction is immediate and visible. Vigorous fizzing occurs, almost completely neutralizing the acetic acid. It's crucial to wait patiently for this fizzing to stop completely before drinking. When the fizzing stops, what you get is an electrolyte solution containing acetate. Acetate is the key component your liver uses to create energy, boosting the metabolic alkalization process, while the potassium residue and enzymes in the apple cider vinegar promote gut health and protein digestion. This synergy is superior to using baking soda alone, as it addresses both the pH issue and nutrient assimilation. In my practice, I've seen many people who, by incorporating this combination, notice a significant difference not only in heartburn, but also in their overall feeling of lightness after meals. Apple cider vinegar, with its natural probiotics and ability to stimulate digestive enzymes, sets the stage for bicarbonate to work more deeply and effectively at a systemic level, not just as a palliative. But remember, success always lies in moderation and paying attention to your own body. If you are prone to intestinal sensitivity or are taking medication for blood pressure, this combination should always be discussed with your healthcare professional. We've explored how the strategic combination of baking soda and apple cider vinegar, by neutralizing into a potent acetate, offers a superior pathway for alkalization and deep digestive improvement. But always remember that the key lies in moderation and careful observation of your body and any medical interactions. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What small change or healthy habit will you integrate into your routine this week to improve your digestive and energetic well-being? Leave your answer in the comments. And if this information has resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss future holistic health tips, and share this video with those seeking to regain their balance. Thank you for joining me on this journey of knowledge and self-care. Until next time, and always remember to listen to your body. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo.